Okay, what is up? It is your boy Omega SMG coming at you with a new video. And as always, I'm dying in the intro. Sound like I've been smoking for 20 years. But anyway, so let's go ahead and break down this track. I posted this a while ago. I call it New Lo-Fi Study Music to Study to, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But anyways, let's go and go over the track because a lot of people in person have actually been asking me to break this one down because it sounds pretty. So, first thing we're going to go over is like the sample of the track. So the sample, very, very simple, but it's from a Postal Service song. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to play, but this is what it sounds like uncut. And so that's what it is like without any sort of timing changes, and of course I still have the pitch down. So then I cut it up so that it was a bit more on the grid. And it starts off like really relaxing, you know what I'm saying? One second, I actually want to clone this real fast so I can have a specific pattern for my intro. And I'll see if this sounds good. And then we get into the hi-hats. I just like made this pattern without even hearing it, so let's see if it sounds alright. Yeah, that's perfect. So we start off with a really slow and slightly off-kilter hi-hat pattern, so it'll be on the 4s and then slightly below the 4s every once in a while. So kind of like I don't know the way to describe it, but after we get that, we go ahead and get into our drum pattern, which this is a really simple drum pattern, but it is not something you typically hear in like pop music. So let's go ahead and go over this, so just listen to it. Let's make sure I have my... Okay, so the kick is pretty basic, I'm not gonna lie. So this is something that you would totally hear in a regular track, but now let's go over to the snare where it gets a bit more interesting. So the snare is on the 1 and the 3, so, not 1 and the kind of the 4, but not quite the 4, so it starts off like but always slightly before the 4, and it makes it so that it plays off that hi-hat really interestingly. So it'll play like 1, 2 for a few times, and then it'll match up with the snare, and it makes a really cool sound. Just pay attention to the dynamics of the hi-hats and the snares right here. Because the hi-hats, they're going where the snare would traditionally go, and the snare is just doing its own thing and eventually meeting up with itself, aka meeting up with the hi-hat. So then we go ahead and get into the tambourine, where we get a bit more of a sense of rhythm. We get something on the 1 and the 3 just every time, just really consistent, just nice and slow. This is just in there so that it can create like a set rhythm for you to listen to instead of all like this craziness. It's just like to contradict it. Then along with that, we have a really slow bass line that doesn't quite go along with the actual chord progression, but it's not 100% off, so just listen to it. simple. Let's go over the effects on the bass because, you know, it's using my very favorite sound. So we throw some, we'll go ahead and just pull up the bass pattern. So throw some decimal on there because, you know, making that lo-fi sound is always top priority. And throw guitar on it. This is just something I came up with myself. VC76. You can copy all these settings. This makes it a bit spacier, but it's still in mono, so it's like going back to the original trap bell tutorial I made forever ago. Just making a sound that should be wide, but not letting it be wide. And then on top of that, I threw a decapitator to add a little bit more heat. So, it doesn't do a ton, but it definitely changes the tone. Then we go ahead and move forward and we get a guitar. Now, as of right now, my electric guitar is out of commission because all my strings are off of it. So I had to use ample guitar yet again. So made a nice tone for it. Just really, it has a sort of a clean sound with a little bit of dirtiness to it. Tiny bit of distortion, tiny bit of tape and echo and spring reverb, and just listen to it, vibe out with it, you know. Then we get another like counter melody going on here. So we have slow chord progression, that's 4 on the floor. Then we get the bass line that's also not quite 4 on the floor, but still on the grid. And then we get this guitar melody that goes, and it kind of fits in with the drums with its craziness. It's like starts off on it like, and then and when you solo it, it's when you can hear that light distortion. Solo, it sounds weird, but when it's in context, it sounds right. So then we go ahead and just cut out everything except for the chord progression, then just introduce the ride in with it halfway through. So then we have this ride just slowly build up, and then all of a sudden it just pushes right into this area right here where there's all of this stuff going on. Just listen to it. Then we have the ride in there, which acts as like a counterpoint to the tambourine of some sort. Like, well, the tambourine is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, the ride is just going on like the 1 and the 3 of that tambourine. So it's just adding a bit more melody, not melody, but like groove to it. We just loop this and let it do the famous lazy pop fade out, like this. Sounds nice and pretty. So now let's go ahead and go over drums. So this is using addictive drums, and I can tell you these drums are definitely addictive. 10 out of 10 would recommend. XLN is underrated as all heck. Their drums all sound really nice. Like, I have it turned down nice and quiet. They all sound very real, and they'd probably sound even more real if I felt like doing my job and like getting someone to play this, or heck, even if I were to use my MIDI keyboard that's literally right next to my microphone, like played it out. That's a lot of work, so instead we get some on-the-grid drums. But anyways, sounds very, very nice. Like, lots of distortion, very light. Yeah, kick has lots of distortion on it. Snare, light distortion, and then overheads, they have like some tape. I don't do anything with the tape though. Oh yeah, the bus has lots and lots of distortion on it. In the room, I just have completely off. I'll add, because I add reverb and post. Now this is where there are going to be riots. I had this off the entire time, but this is RC20, also from Excellent Audio, and I have a reverb on the master. Yeah, not exactly a popular thing to do, but oh well. I'm just gonna go ahead and like play a busier part of the track and just do like an A/B comparison, because I've had this off the entire time because of that white noise. Anyway, so just listen. So it actually is a really big difference when it comes. It kind of changes the mood of it. Like RC20 makes it a bit more spaced out and all that, but like whenever you have like RC20 off, it sounds more like a traditional song. It's really a preference thing. Really just do what you want. I can't control it. It's not my job to make music for you. But anyways, if you like this video, smash that like button. If you hated this video, smash that dislike button. I don't really care that much. If you hate me with a burning passion, leave a hate comment. It just makes me rank higher in search results. This is your boy, Omega SMG, signing out.